every high, every low.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. You are listening to the Mari Mukonda Show on Salam Media, and we are also live on Facebook. If you have any comments, queries, questions, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comment section below or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061-766-0355. And it is time for our marriage segment. You know, every Tuesdays at this time, we have a marriage segment and we chat to some professionals to give us advice on how to get through this institution of marriage. So today I'm going to be chatting to Fatima Kwele Mkaba about making Allah the heart of your marriage. You know, marriage is not something that is easy. You know, it's sort of like an easy come, easy go situation, but sometimes it also doesn't come as easily as we think. And when it does come, it's even more difficult to keep it, to protect it. And you know, they always talk about surviving the first 5 years of your marriage, because if you can do that, then you can survive the rest of your marriage. But that too is not true, because we do find couples who after 10, 15, 20 years, even in their old age, in their 80s and 70s and 80s, and they feel like it's time now for a divorce. And I had a beautiful conversation yesterday with Margaret Hungwe during her book review, and she mentioned that that's the reason for that is because people fall in love. They have this idea of falling in love, and you know, you can easily fall out of love the next few minutes, the next few seconds. So don't fall in love with the person and trying to build the relationship together, the spousal relationship. And obviously, before you can do that, you need to build your relationship with God. You need to build your relationship with Allah. If it's broken, mend it, because who better to give you a good spouse than him? So Appa Fatima is on the line, and we're going to be talking about this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Appa.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Maryam?
Alhamdulillah, all well in yourself?
Alhamdulillah, well.
Shukran. All right, so Appa, well, what does it mean to put Allah first in one's marriage?
Okay, basically, I would say that it means that we shouldn't do anything that is basically against the commands of Allah Ta'ala. And meaning that taking upon the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق, that there is no obedience of the creation or the disobedience of Allah. So if you obey Allah Ta'ala, you put Allah Ta'ala first, and then you whatever command that a husband gives us, especially if it's a negative command that is against the laws of Allah Ta'ala, then you know that first I obey Allah, then I obey what my husband says. Because mostly you find a lot of women, when they are married and they feel that whatever the husband is saying is correct in every way, meaning you overlook your mother, you overlook your father, you overlook everybody else around you, and more so overlook what Allah Ta'ala says. So even when it comes to the bedroom itself, where the hadith or Allah Ta'ala commanded us not to do certain actions, then we shouldn't do certain actions. We shouldn't do them just only to please a husband. My Mulana says that the day we die, we're going to be alone. He's not going to be there. He's not. Allah's not going to question him with regards to why we did the actions that we've done. So therefore, we first put Allah, then only will we obey what the husband also is saying, inshallah.
Now, Appa, with what you've just mentioned, I know that there is a hadith. I'm not sure if it's a strong hadith or a weak hadith where the angels curse a woman who denies her husband the pleasure of her husband. Now, what if she denies the pleasure because of him wanting her to do something that goes against the Quran and what you've just mentioned?
Yes, there is a hadith that in terms of that the angels, yes, they do curse a woman who refuses her husband. Although, as I mentioned, that with the disobedience of Allah Ta'ala, we cannot. For example, if a woman is in her menstrual, right? According to the hadith, we're not supposed to have sexual relations in that time. So therefore, you obey Allah rather than the husband. Rather, we explain to him that if he does not understand, get a mulana to explain to the husband in those terms that when a woman is in an mental, she cannot be having sexual relations. So rather, because the angels will not trust a woman at that time if she refuses her husband for the valid reason, for a valid Shari'i reason rather. So
Okay.
I firmly believe that Allah Ta'ala is not oppressive. He will not punish
Yeah.
us for things that He Himself has, Allah Ta'ala Himself has told us not to do, basically.
Now, why should we love for the sake of Allah? I know that many a times when we do get a partner, we tend to love our partner so much that we lose ourselves in their partner and we have less focus of Allah, such that we try to do everything to please our partner instead of Allah.
Loving for the sake of Allah, basically the hadith of also of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he says that on the day of Qiyamah, there will be a shade on the day when there will be no other shade besides his shade, isn't? So Allah Ta'ala says, Nabi Sallallahu rather says that there will be 7 types of people that will be under the shade of Allah Ta'ala. And from these 7 types of people, one of them will be those 2 people who loved each other for the sake of Allah. So, I mean, Islam itself is telling us that we should be loving each other for the sake of Allah and not only for the husband or any other person. So if we want to be under the shade, we should actually love ourselves for Allah's sake. And then another hadith also, Nabi Sallallahu is saying that Nabi Sallallahu says, by who in his hand is my soul, none of you.
Appa, your line is not very clear. I'm losing bits of what you are saying. If you can please try moving around a bit.
So, 2 things that normally married couples don't always do, especially the exchange stuff they do. But in terms of that, you wake up in the morning, you take it for granted. This person here is with me anyway. We wake.
Okay, Appa's line is not very clear, and I think we have lost her there. Let us try and get her back on the line. We are talking about making Allah the center or the heart of your marriage. I mean, it's so important to love for the sake of Allah first, then to love your partner. I mean, you should be so in tune with Allah, with God, with the Creator, because He is the one who gives and who takes. He can easily give you a partner, and the same way He can easily take that person away. So if you are so engrossed and so in love with the person that Allah has given you, then when you lose them, you lose yourself as well, and that will be so difficult to it will be so difficult to get yourself back on track. But inshallah, as we try to get Appa back on the line, let us see. All right. Okay, Appa is back. Assalamu alaikum. Appa, you there?
Walaikum salam. I think the signal.
Yeah, it's definitely the signal. Appa, you were talking about the loving for the sake of Allah before we lost you there.
What I was saying is that we mentioned the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that by you in his hand my soul lies, that none can enter Jannah until he believe, or none can believe until he love each other. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam directed us towards showing love for each other, that is spreading salam amongst ourselves. So I mentioned that, as a couple or as families, we should learn to spread the salam because it means peace. So what are you doing is you telling the person, or you're making dua for the next person that may Allah Ta'ala bring peace upon you. And they would reply also, may Allah give you peace as well. So in that way, what happens is the love of each other, inshallah, will grow amongst the couple, inshallah.
Now, Appa, we are all familiar with the statement that a marriage is half of our deen. Well, and it is definitely
Oh, yeah, Allah.
to gain our full deen, but obviously, there's a lot of obstacles and challenges that we have to face. And if marriage is half of it, it's also not going to be an easy feat. Please expand further on this statement of marriage being half of our deen. Appa, did we lose you again? All right, I think we have lost Appa. The network is not very great, but inshallah, as soon as we get her back, we will continue with this. But do stay with us. We will be right back.
I-
Okay, welcome back. You're listening to the Mara Mukonda show on Salam Media, and it seems like Appa's network is completely gone, and yeah, that makes me sad because we can't continue our conversation. But inshallah, when we do get her back, maybe on another occasion, we will um, continue with this conversation because it's so important. There's so much to it, to putting God, to putting Allah in your marriage before putting anything or anyone else first. Um, if you have any comments, queries, questions, or suggestions, you can send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061 or you can leave your comments in the comment section below and tell us about what you think. Send us your comments, tell us what you think about putting God in your marriage first, making Him the center of your marriage. And if you have been doing it, how has it changed your marriage? How has it structured your marriage? How have you and your spouse been um, getting through problems, challenges? And if you haven't, if you don't have God in your marriage, what is it like? Are you living? Does your marriage have any purpose? Does it have meaning? What is what does it mean to you basically? Because remember also that your children and your partners are a test from Allah, and everything that we do in this world is a test from Allah. So, are you going to seek Him in your partner, or are you just going to, just let everything be? Okay. All right. Abba says it is totally gone, but that's fine. And there was an article that I was reading, very interesting article about this topic of putting Allah, making Allah the center of our marriage. And they also spoke about the Quranic approach to marriage, as well as the prophetic approach to marriage. We all like to talk about Sunnah and follow the Prophet's way of life. Yet there are so many that still needs to be done. The main sunnahs that we focus on is multiple wives, and there's more to that than just there's more to the sunnah than just having multiple wives and marrying and being in a polygynous marriage. So let's focus on the small sunnahs, the small things like sitting with your wife, playing games with your wife and your children. But obviously, this is about a partnership with your wife in the hopes that you're going to be with them in Jannah. So play with your wives, feed them. No, 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 don't just cook food and then serve it on a separate plate. Eat together and create a unique bond, a love between the two of you, such that your kids can also grow up seeing that, oh, our parents love each other. And this is because you're taking examples from the Sunnah, the ways of the Prophet and how he used to live with his wives. And he used to play games with them, like racing with Aisha radiallahu anha. And he used to do a lot of things with his wife, and drinking from the same cup and eating from the same plate, etc., helping his wife out. I know we are still in the lockdown, although some people have returned to work. There are some people who are still working from home. So do continue helping your wife out at home and helping her with the kids so that she can also get some time to rest. Some me time. Some me time is so necessary. It's so important. You guys have no idea how having me time is. It's needed, especially if you have kids. If you have kids, you will know why you need some me time, even if it's just 5 minutes to go outside, get a breather, get some fresh air, soak in the sun, and thank Allah for those blessings that you have received. And yeah, it's beautiful. But like I said, since we won't be getting Upper back on the line, do share with us your comments. Send them to us on WhatsApp on 061 766 0355, or you can leave them in the comment section below, and share this with your friends and families so that we can reach as many more people as we can. And inshallah, we will chat to Abba Fatima maybe next week, inshallah, and continue with this topic of marriage and making Allah the center of your marriage. So coming up next, I'm going to be chatting to Aisha Ponda Kilumbilo, who is our featured hit list for today. It is 11:55, so why don't you guys enjoy a nasheed while I also enjoy the nasheed.